Hi Flosstube, welcome to our channel. My name is Becca, this is Shadow. She loves her little mini marshmallows. Welcome to SamBrie Stitches. You can also find me on Instagram under SamBrie Stitches as well. I hope you liked the intro. You got to meet our sweet guinea pig. He doesn't get much YouTube screen time. He's not going to be as famous as the bunny or as Shadow here. But I figured he was being super adorable, eating his veggies, and I had to cut out the sound because everybody was talking and making noises in the background. But at least you got to meet him. We renamed him Wilbur. He's been through a lot. He survived us losing 2 out of the 3 guinea pigs. And so, we just kind of renamed him that after Charlotte's Web, being that lucky special pig that is still here with us. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. This is a channel all about cross stitch, and I wanted to thank the new viewers and subscribers for giving me a chance. I appreciate you guys so very much. And my returning subscribers, a few of you have been with me from day one, and you've commented on pretty much all of my videos, and it just means a lot to me. So I appreciate all of you. As you know, each and every one of you, even the new subscribers recently, are part of my Stitchy family, and we are all helping each other through this hard time that is going on right now. So I'm glad I'm able to keep you company pretty much every day, and that you all enjoy my videos. So thank you. We had a Zoom meetup last night. I hosted the Thursday night Zoom meetup, and we had a pretty good turnout, and it was just really nice. A lot of conversation. It was a really, really fun night. I did have a headache, and I was only planning on staying for a few minutes, and then letting everybody else just continue on with the meeting, even though I was hosting. But I ended up staying the full 2 hours. For some reason, when I am in those Zoom meetups or when I'm stitching, it helps to not feel my headache, if that makes sense. It was pounding before. I was gonna hop on Zoom, make an appearance, say hi to everybody and hop off. And then we got to talking, and I just didn't notice it. So it was great. It was a great night. So I'm gonna insert some pictures that I took. I don't know if I caught everybody. People hopped on and hopped off for dinner and different things. So I apologize if I missed you, but enjoy the pictures of the Zoom meetup last night. And I hope that everybody feels welcome. Even if you haven't been joining us, please just message me for an invite. We would love to meet you. One of my coworkers that I have never met joined in last night because we were on a call, and I had talked about hosting cross-stitch Zoom meetups to help others and myself. And she messaged me on the side and was like, oh my gosh, you cross stitch, I embroider, can I join in? So anybody is welcome, even if you haven't joined us before. We're a super friendly bunch, and we are very, very welcoming. So the more the merrier. It gets to be a lot of fun. So yeah, that was a Zoom meetup last night. I have no whips to show y'all. Surprise, surprise. I decided that I was getting a little stressed because of all these plans that I have for Mania, and I wanted to knock some whips out before Mania. And I did. I couldn't believe it. I stitched like it was my job. Wednesday, I finished Search the Sky. And then yesterday, just after our Zoom meetup, I finished Silent Night. Not only did I finish them, I've already FFO'd them to show you guys. So you get to see my whip finish and fully finished object all in one. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one that a lot of people are super excited about. I did have to modify this pattern quite a bit to get it to fit how I wanted for the finishing piece, but here it is. And so I modified it quite a bit. I left off the top and bottom borders. I moved these words in a little bit. And then I moved these words up, and I only did one layer of snow instead of two. And it fit perfectly. I mean, it does cover the wreath a tiny bit, but not as much as it would have had I left everything on. Oh. We have an airplane flying overhead. Cars driving by, airplane flying overhead, kids bouncing on the trampoline even though everything is soaked next door. Yeah, neighborhood noises that y'all enjoy. Anyways, so this is my finish. This was from Tractor Supply. There's the information over Christmas time. I did get it on sale too, so I don't think I paid the $13. But it is a Tractor Supply. I also have a general store, I think is what I got, and the farm. I don't remember if I got the general store, but I did get the farm. That's what I finished Chicken Joy on, I think. So there's my first finish. I just added some little pom-pom trims. I'm not a big pom-pom person, but the chenille just didn't look right, and I like the pom-pom. All right, this is the one I'm super excited for. This one, a lot of people have been waiting to see. And so this is Search the Sky. And what I did is I mounted it on sticky board, of course. And I used some green chenille yarn that I had. And this had like 3 ugly weird Santas inside this that I got from Goodwill for $5. Probably cheaper. And then this was on a like a chicken wire window that I got from Tractor Supply. You could just unwind it. So I did not make this. I just stuck it on the bottom of this. But I love this so much. And look, you can see like the night sky at the top. And I used white sparkly fabric for the background. And this is I think it's 18 count opalescent night sky from Bee Stitch Me. It was a custom order that I asked her to do for Search the Sky. And she is now offering it for everybody. So I love it. Look at it. And it jingles. These big old jingly bells. I love it. So those are my two finishes, and then FFOs all in one. So I knocked out 2. Today I'm working on May's Year of Celebrations, a style that Brandy from Bee Stitch Me and I have going on. So hopefully I'll knock out that. So then I have less whips going into Mania, which helps me not be as stressed. So hopefully you enjoyed those finishes. I'm super proud of them. The next thing I want to show you is Stitchy Kindness. I received a package. Look at this card. She made this card too. I love it so much. And she wrote me a sweet little note. It's from Nancy. I did ask permission to say her name. She is SewCozyStitching on Instagram, and Flosstube is SewCozyStitching. She has been a big supporter of me, so I will also link her Flosstube down below. Please go check her out. She's so very kind. Not only did she send me gifts, she sent 4 of what I'm going to show you for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway tomorrow. You guys are going to be blown away at what I'm giving away tomorrow, because my friends are so supportive and so generous. It's not even funny. I'm floored by the generosity of my friends, my crafty friends. It's amazing. So the first one that I want to show you that that Nancy made, and I'm probably going to use the card for this. She sent thread keeps, and hopefully you can see it. There's an owl. So she sent this one for me. And then she sent this one for me. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Trying to get it to where it'll show on this one. Beautiful, beautiful butterflies. And then she did send 4, which I will show tomorrow, since I'll be doing the giveaway tomorrow during my daughter's 21st birthday. So I figured that'd be a perfect time to celebrate giving gifts to you and celebrating my daughter's birthday, and it's just going to be an awesome day. So thank you so much, Nancy. Please go check out her Flosstube, and follow her, subscribe, do all those things just to support our stitching community. Gives you more to watch. So thank you so much for that. Okay, I actually forgot something, so I'm going to insert this. I wanted to talk about needlework shops. I know that you all have heard me talk about Acorns and Threads. That is my not so local but local needlework shop, and we are doing an amazing job supporting Janine and the whole crew at Acorns. She's super busy and I'm loving it. So thank you for that. But I wanted to also talk about Starlight Stitchery. They are also a not so local but local cross stitch shop, and they are having a little bit of a hard time right now. So they had set up a GoFundMe for helping them out, and I'm gonna read this to you. They do have a Facebook page that you can go and see this, but I'm asking for your help in either going to their Facebook page, which I'll link below, to donate to their GoFundMe, or place an order to help them out. But basically it says, asking for help is the absolute last thing we want to do, but stitchy friends, we could use some help. The COVID-19 pandemic hit us where it hurts. We've had to close our brick and mortar shop, and while the transition to selling online only is going pretty smoothly, we still need to pay the last 2 months of rent, as well as $1,500 early lease termination fee. We've applied for a federal economic disaster loan, but considering how quickly the SBA has run out of funding, we're not holding our breath. Because we don't actually pay ourselves, all revenue goes right back into maintaining and expanding the shop. We aren't eligible for the PPP loan or a number of grants which require small business to have more than 2 employees. Asking for help is the last resort for us, and we feel terrible for having to do it. But if you can spare a little cash to help us pay off our rent costs, we would appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Any extra money raised beyond the money needed to terminate our lease will be used to procure a new space to work from. We're currently crowded into Pamela's basement, and while it works, we'd love to set up a little office space. We want to continue to be your local needlework shop, even if we're online. We pride ourselves on quick shipping, and we bend over backwards to make sure you're getting the supplies you need for your crafts. So that is what she wrote in their GoFundMe. And when I screenshotted this, they were at $1,425 out of $5,000 as their goal. They were hit very hard. So if you need any supplies or just have a little bit of extra money, go help them out, because we want our brick and mortar stores to stay open. But if they can't procure a new space, they still need help getting out of their old one because of COVID-19. So I just wanted to put that out there. And, you know, I'm sure there's tons of other shops that are also struggling. But these are my local needlework shops. These are important to me and my fellow Pacific Northwest stitchers. Acorns and Threads, Starlight Stitchery, Threadneedle Street in Issaquah also. She has an amazing selection of threads. So if you need threads, you can go to Threadneedle. But it's just my little cry for help. Beth Twist is still doing her part. If you check out her stories, she's picking a needlework shop of the day to help out. So even if you don't want to help out the 3 that I've talked about here in the Pacific Northwest, go to Beth Twist's stories and see what needlework shop the lovely Wheel of Choice has chosen, and go support them. This time we really need to help our needlework shops, otherwise we're not going to have any place but online to do our shopping, and we won't be able to gather together like what we do at First Thursday if we don't help. So thank you for listening to my spiel, and I appreciate each and every one of you, as do all of the needlework shops as well. So I will get you back to the video now. I'm going to add on a little stitch with me. So I have not really read over these questions ahead of time. I Googled just some Flosstube tags type stuff, and I found one. I guess it's from Heather Stitches, but it says Teresa tag questions. I don't know the history of it. There's a rooster. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I love it. I don't know the origin of these. I just know it says Teresa tag questions. And what I am working on is my Erica Michaels Thanks to the Brave, and I haven't really touched it since my last stitch with me, so I'm just going to be filling in the blue. The rooster's so funny. And then there's shadow barking because there's a squirrel that has been taunting her and Emma. Emma's not out here because she won't stop barking. Give me a second before I start my stitch with me to get Shadow inside, because I'm sure she's freaking out all of your animals right now. So 1 second. Okay, I am back. Shadow is now inside staring at me from the sliding door like, Mama, why'd you put me inside? And the bunny, he's just chilling down here, not wanting to move around too much. He's covered up because it did rain last night, so we started covering him up every night, just to keep him dry. And there goes the rooster again. I love it. Okay, anyways, so Teresa tag questions. The first question is, do seasons affect your stitching pattern? And it says in parentheses, do you stitch less in the summer? For me, no, I don't stitch less in the summer. I am a seasonal stitcher typically though, because I recently just like to start decorating for the seasons. So prior to said season, I try to get some pieces stitched and finished to display. But I don't stitch less at any one point in time when it comes to seasons. So although I'm pretty much set, the only thing that I think I have to stitch for is a few more summer pieces, and then like summer pillows for my dough bowl. And then I'll not have to stitch as much seasonal stuff. Like I could do one seasonal to add in, every year or something like that, because I really want to start focusing on my sampler, my Huckleberry Farm. And I also want to start focusing on some farm themed cross stitch patterns that I have. I'm going to keep giggling because he's just going to keep growing. So I do want to start focusing on the sampler, my Lady of the Flag, and then my farm themed. So hopefully you guys will see that more into rotation than some seasonal pieces. Next question, do you prefer stitching with a lap stand, on a floor stand, or in hand? None. I mean, if you consider using a Q-snap in hand, then that, but I typically hold my Q-snap. I do have a couple of stands. I honestly don't know the brands of any of them. One is a wooden one that held my huge, ginormous, I want to say like 50-inch scroll rods when I first started the Elks. And that was a pain in the behind. Oh, mailman. And then I do have another stand that does like clamps my Q-snaps if I want to do that, but typically I just do this. So number 3, do you prefer stitching with a hoop, Q-snap, frame, or in hand? Well, Q-snap. I just answered that in number 2. Guess I should have read these ahead of time, but I was just going off of the tag. So I do use a hoop, making up words. I do use a hoop every so often if I run out of Q-snaps, but I don't typically enjoy that because it tends to cramp my hand up for some reason. Maybe it's just holding something a little bit thinner. Number 4, do you use a stitching light or no additional light? If yes, do you use a floor lamp or clip-on light? I do use an light. It is a floor over my head. Many of you that have been in the Zoom meetups have seen it. I like just the bright light. It's a bit dark downstairs in the family room where I stitch, so I do own several lights, and I was gifted an amazing light by Kim, my viewer, that I've started using during the Zoom meetup so that I don't have this halo of light over me. I just put it in my lap, and it has a magnifying glass, so I really enjoy that one to use during like the meetups, and I'll be bringing that with me if I'm stitching like at Acorns or something, when I'm able to stitch at Acorns again. Number 5, do you use a magnifier? If yes, do you use the one with an arm that clips on or glasses? Typically, no, I don't use a magnifier. These that I'm wearing, my glasses, are readers. I actually do need real glasses, but I haven't been able to, get the eye exam and stuff taken care of. The magnifier on that light that was gifted to me, I do use that every so often just to see if my stitches are laying flat. But typically, no, just these glasses, because otherwise I'm blind as a bat trying to see my 18 count. So number 6, do you stitch one-handed, two-handed, or both? One-handed, and I am left-handed, so I hold the Q-snap in my right and I stitch with my left. That is the only way that I can do it. Do you prefer to stitch alone in a quiet place or around the family and in a living area? Both. Depends on my mood. I get a lot of quiet time during the day because my husband is considered essential personnel, so he works, well, before he even worked, before all this. And I only work Friday through Sunday. So I would get a lot of quiet time during the week to stitch downstairs in my stitching area. But I also love to stitch when my husband is home and he's sitting on the couch on the other side of the room. And so we could both do things that we enjoy and still talk and interact. And if his World of Warcraft is annoying me, or when he's in Discord talking to everybody, if that annoys me, I pop in my headphones and I listen to music, or I watch Flosstube on my iPad. So kind of both. Although right now it's quiet and it's peaceful, and I'm actually enjoying this a lot. Stitching outside with the birds. The kids are quiet. There's no cars right now. This is peaceful. What is your preferred fabric and preferred count of fabric? Everybody that has watched me or is new knows that it's Ada. And I think my preferred is 18, even though I have to wear readers in order to stitch on it. I like typically the single thread use, even though this is 18 count and I started it prior to the single thread use. And this isn't so bad. I kind of like the coverage of these threads on the 18 count, but definitely 18 count Ada. In your stitching, have you ever lost your stitchy bug? If so, how many times have you lost it and how did you get it back? Well, yes, I have. I've been stitching for over 20 years, and I've gone through phases. So I've been really, really gung-ho the past 3 or 4 years, like nonstop, not really lost my stitchy bug. The only time that I don't feel like stitching is like if I'm sick or if my head gets really, really bad. But even then, usually I can push through it. But over the years, I have lost my stitchy bug. And how it usually comes back is I would need to make a gift for somebody, a birthday, a gift for my girls, something like that. And I always think that the best gifts are homemade gifts. I don't know if everybody believes that, but I certainly do. So even if my stitchy bug wasn't completely back, I would kind of force it and push through it, and then that would bring me back into stitching. So usually it's just gifts for people that would bring it back. And the last question in this is, do you travel and stitch? Would you or do you stitch on public transport, or is it a home hobby only? Oh my goodness, I take my stitching everywhere. No joke. I get the strangest looks. I don't take public transportation, but if we're at appointments for like my daughters or the vet, or, you know, for me, anywhere that you have to wait in a waiting room, the dentist, I would just grab a project bag. And I have, I didn't bring it up, but I had one to give away from Daleen. It's so grateful. And she made this awesome little accessories bag out of a Bubble Yum package. And that is it has everything in it. My needles, pretty much all my scissors. Like I put everything in there. So I grabbed that and a project bag, and I take it with me everywhere. Sitting in the line to pick up at school when we were doing that. When my husband takes us on drives, I bring my projects. I stitch everywhere. I don't care. And the cool thing is, like, there have been times, even at the car dealership, like getting my oil changed, because they take forever. Oh, somebody biffed it on a bike. I can see them over my tall fence up here. I'll be stitching, and there's always somebody that comes over and asks, you know, what are you doing? What are you working on? And it piques interest in conversations. And I really enjoy that. Sometimes I want to be left alone, but while I'm sitting there. But it's kind of nice that people want to know what you're stitching. Oh, that poor kid. Oh. Anyway, so that was the end of the original tag questions from Teresa, I guess. If anybody knows where that came from, let me know, because I want to give credit, but it didn't really say anything. It just had the questions there. So I'm going to finish this last little cross here. I didn't get a whole heck of a lot done. I am still planning on doing the interviews. I'm hoping I think I have one set up for Thursday of next week. And it's going to be my trial interview. I'm a tad bit nervous, but I'm doing my first interview with a good friend, so I will feel comfortable. So in the meantime, if you guys do have any questions that you would like me to ask, it's just going to be the same set of questions that I ask each Flosstuber. So I don't want to sit there and change it up. It's a lot of work to come up with the questions. So I think I'm just going to use the same set, but it's going to be a mix of cross-stitch questions and like fun off-the-wall questions. And they will probably last 10 to 15 minutes. I don't want to take up people's time. and it will just go in place of one of my daily videos. And then when everything gets back to normal, like if I go back to work and all that other stuff, I would still like to continue doing the interviews, and just popping them, you know, in on a certain day. Like a certain day will be interview day, but all of this is still up in the air. But that is my hope, is that, you know, it'll continue, if it's well received. I don't know how well I'm going to do, but I'm so excited that this idea was presented to me. So we'll see how it goes. And I just did a whole nother row because I just keep on talking. So I hope that you all are going to have an amazing day. I'm super excited for tomorrow. Not only is it going to be a big, amazing 1,000 subscriber giveaway that I'm going to do, I'm also going to be celebrating my daughter's 21st birthday. So I'm very excited about that. I have her gift all ready to go. I didn't give it to her early. I was so close to giving it to her early. I'm so bad with surprises. But I didn't. And I'm pretty sure that I have her convinced to let me record her opening the bag, but we'll see. I'm hoping so, because I told her y'all were invested in the gift. So anyways, hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope it is beautiful where you are, whether it's snow, rain, sun. Get outside, get some fresh air, and get lots of stitching done. And I will see you all tomorrow. So happy stitching, everybody.